Shalom. This week's Sedra is Sedra Behaloscha. To explain an idea in Sedra Behaloscha, I'd like to tell you the story of Rabbi Yosef, a rabbi from America that retired. Yosef sat back and took stock of his environment. He stood at the Kotel Plaza, simply one of the crowd. No one approaching him, no one recognizing him. Yosef had just announced to his congregation that he was retiring from his position of rabbi of their synagogue. Yosef had a 40-year-long successful career, but it was time to step down. He planned to enjoy continuing to write and teach in his community, but no longer serve as their official rabbi. As he sat at the Kotel, Yosef enjoyed his ability to pray and study uninterrupted. He wondered about what the future would hold for him. Would he be okay with not being quote-unquote on call 24/7? Could he just be one of the crowd? What would he do if people asked him a Torah question, or needed pastoral care from the rabbi that they had such a long history with? Could Yosef really just demur and point them to their new rabbi? With these questions swirling in the back of his mind, Yosef began reading this week's Sedra. Yosef read about the unique role of the Leviim and how they became to be the chosen tribe of the chosen people. Hashem wrote, "The Leviim shall come to serve in the tent of meeting. You shall clean them and lift them as a waving, for they are wholly given over to me from among the children of Israel. Instead of the firstborn of Israel, I have taken the Leviim for myself. For all the firstborn among the children of Israel are mine, whether man or beast, since the day I smote the firstborn in the land of Egypt. I have sanctified them for myself, and I have taken the Leviim instead of the firstborn, the children of Israel." Yosef found that God's description of the Leviim as the ones chosen to serve in the firstborn of God's confusing. The verses did say that the Leviim had taken the firstborn's place. In commentary to this verse, Rashi explained that the firstborn are mine by right, for I protected them among the Egyptian firstborn, and I took them for myself until they sinned through the golden calf. So now I have taken the Leviim. Yosef understood that while the firstborn were originally designated to be the chosen to serve God in the Beis Hamikdash, since they sinned at the golden calf and the Leviim hadn't sinned, they were replaced by the Leviim. Upon further thought, Yosef realized that the firstborn weren't completely set aside by God. They were still quote-unquote gods and had to be redeemed. Yosef drew a lesson from the firstborn's eternally unique position. Although they were replaced, the firstborn, as once being God's designated servants, they always retained a unique designation. One simply can't walk away from being chosen by God. Once chosen, a unique bond is formed between God and the chosen, and that bond doesn't expire. In recognition of that bond, God keeps the firstborn as his. Yosef understood that he too had been designated to serve God, albeit not by God himself, but by his own career decision and his congregation's acceptance of him, and he couldn't simply abandon that position. If asked a question or witnessing a Jew in need, Yosef would have to respond, retired or not. Shabbat Shalom.